All right, hello everyone. So today is Thursday, the 14th. Now here we are. Let's start with gold. Now yesterday I said this was a critical thing for us, okay, this time zone, and that's fine because there were two astrological phenomena happening there. If you learned financial astrology from me, you would have been there. By the way, I put today's astro hours already on to the website. Today we have to be a bit careful because as you can see, there are a bunch of events happening in the sky and they are like pretty much evened out. So what I've done is I've put bold ones there. So look out for those bold hours, especially. Obviously this morning, this is also an important one. So let me just tell you which ones are important. Okay, it's 8:45. First of all, is important. I already posted it there, but it's already 9 a.m. as I'm doing this video. It's 8:59 at the moment. Okay, so 8:46 is important. Then we got 1:55. That's important, and that's going to remain important until we're probably going to have a push towards 3:30. So 4:55 is going to be important. 6:20 is something you need to look out for as well, because if that happens, then the market can break out. We can have a breakout after 5 p.m. We could like be at a resistance or a support, and the market can break out. But the market should be pushy, right? Should bring us to an adjustment level, like a retracement level or an adjustment level by 8:45 to 9:20. Okay, and then we've got another thing happening in the Asia session at 2:20 a.m. my time, which will probably, the market will probably be stabilized around then. Okay, so those are like the important hours to keep an eye out for. And be careful today because, like I said, it's a bit of a tricky day when they're all evened out like this, okay? Now, there was some astrological phenomena happening in Asia today, which was important, especially at 3:50 a.m. here. That was important. And then there's another one, 7:23 in the morning, which is 6:25 here, somewhere around here, 5:30, 6:25 here. Okay, so this is the zone here as well. So as you can see, these were important hours for the market. And once those opened up, then this 8:46, which is this bar here, as you can see, the market just flowing through. Now, remember, we had 2035 as a target because of the weekly there. So if you went long, you should have been okay, because I did say we're looking to go long from these levels here. And the market swept here. I said be mindful if it breaks below this, but it was a sweep, so nothing really tremendous. The market popped quickly back up, and this is the astro hours that were important, and this is the trigger. All right, so if you learned astrology from me, you would have understood what's going on here and then waited for that trigger to happen, which happened on 12:15, right? That's, sorry, not 12:15, 3:30 on the platform, which is 4:30, okay, 4:30 my time, and that's it. Okay, so that's the trigger, that's the sign. Market comes back into the astro hours exactly around that 6 o'clock there. And then this is your 8 o'clock, okay, which we talked about, which was 9:30 in the evening. Okay, that's your 9:30 in the evening, which is 8:30 on the platform. And then it's all, as you can see, history going right back up. Okay, so this is an important area here. Like I said, the market might retrace a little bit, but this is a good impulse wave up, okay? But look where the buck stopped, right where I drew this zone before. If you recall, I said we might get up here. This is now even highs. So what might happen? Two things can happen. We could go slightly higher into this zone. Okay, and I've got 66.44 there, which is 2073 on the daily. So 2073, they're still on the cards, so we have to be careful. 67 there, and 2073 is there. All right, so this is still going to be a zone for us that the market might hit still. And because this is a good impulse wave, market wanting to go back up is possible. So we've got 2047.50, 67.73 up here. If you want to buy, you must wait, because if this is going to turn into a runner, it's going to be tricky. Right? But if it does come back into the daily pivot zone, into this zone here at Astro hours, then you could go for a setup here. All right. On the daily, there's no real breakouts for us to do a good buy kiss. On the weekly, we're right on the edge of things. 62 here is 2077, which is pretty close to that 2073. Why don't I just put 2077 here as well? Because that's a good buy kiss, which is on the breaking, okay, which is the breakout of, whoops, the weekly. All right, there. On the monthly, if you take a look at this, okay, on the monthly, we're right there. This is turning into an indecision buy at the moment, but we are just in the middle of the month right now. It's the 14th, right? So we don't know how this is going to close up, but this is right in the middle. So quite an indecisive market, as you can see. However, though, if you want to take a sell, okay, be mindful. I'd do it at the tops if it gets to the PST levels like here, or at the top here, 2067, 77 zone there, because that's, that's how it is. All right. Don't muck around in no man's land. If you want to go long, if it comes down into an Astro hour, you can. Like I said today, take extra care, because the Astro hours are evened out and I don't like it. We could have a flow day. We could just go all day in one direction, or we could just do something, like a sideways market. It could all get choppy and everybody could be just suffering from it. So we have to be a bit careful during days like this. Just be mindful of the Astro hours I put on there and match it to your technical analysis. So if you want to go long, do it somewhere reasonable, like previous day high, the opening. If it's an Astro hour, you want to go long, yeah, you can go long here if you want to do that, because you can put a stop loss which is tight. All right, so it could be a tight stop loss, and then you could take that chance to push further up, and that's okay. If you want to do it down here, it's also okay. You can put a tight stop loss. There's a bit of a gap here. This is why I'll put it slightly under the daily pivot there. All right, so the market might want to pick up this little thing here. The market will want to come back down again because it's a big sudden push. So they'll look for a place to sell as well. So this is why you need to be mindful. So if you're going to sell, do it somewhere nice, like in this zone or in that zone there. Let's take a look at SP 500. Big push up, which is in our coming up into that weekly zone there. Remember, we had this zone before. I said we could push into there. This is definitely turning into a Christmas rally. As you can see, the market is just all ecstatic. And I did put this PST level here because of the PST gap here, which the market might want to fill out. If it does do that, it's going to turn into a divergence. Okay, why? Because this high is going to kind of like stop here, okay, or slightly higher maybe, but it won't be as high as that. Then, there'll be a divergence there. If I do this, you can also do this on your PST indicator. You could do your manual setups as well. Should the market come into this zone, then this will be a sell zone too. All right, so you could do all kinds of technical analysis here as well, also with Fibonacci's as well. All right, so this zone, in my opinion, is still a sell zone, but I did say you might want to take a break from the indices and just let it do what it needs to do. Or if you're going to buy it, I did say you have to wait for a retracement. I said this is going to be an important hour yesterday, as you know, and look what happened. The market did not budge. It just stuck around here, and then this was the trigger, boom, and then the follow-up on the trigger. This is why it was like, bang, bang, nice push up. Whoops. And now let's take a look. So what to do with the SP 500? Like I said, you can, you could just stick around here, and if you went long, great. If you push your luck a little bit more, I don't know how far this will go. I'm not in favor of buying at the tops. So I didn't do anything with the indices yesterday, nor with gold. I traded the euro dollar yesterday. Why? I'll come to that right now. Euro dollar also went up pretty good. Remember, we had this level before. I drew that in either yesterday or a few days ago. I don't recall. But I drew this in, and this is a Mars. This is the Mercury line. Look at that, Mercury. Mercury's going retrograde yesterday, and look at that magnetic pull right into price and Mercury line. That is just awesome. Now here we had that PSD level here as well, as you know, on the weekly, right? So that's your LCL1, 1.0914. On the daily, I had, if you recall, on the daily, I had this 52 level there, which is 0845. So I already took that in there. Yesterday, that was 37. So I actually got out a bit earlier, but who's complaining? It was nice. In a matter of a few hours, it was like a good deal. Now, yesterday I went long here because this was the strategic hour. That went nicely. Why? Because the market came down into an astro hour. Okay, if you sold the top as well, look, if you sold the euro dollar here as well, you should have been okay. If you bought here, you should have been okay as well. This was an okay place to buy because of that. And once the market pushed up, that's it. I covered the trade and I moved the stop forward just under that. I was quite lucky not to have gotten stopped out here because the stop loss was just under this bar here. And then this was the equal low sweep. And then it just pushed up and then that was it. So it was an overall, a nice quick buck on the side. Now you see we've got a runner happening here. This is an impulse wave. So now we've got the runner. That's your runner. Okay. So it still has a bit of room to come up, looks like anyway. So what you can do is you can either push up from here, from these lows. As you can see, the market retraced nicely to go back up again. But has it got room to go up? That's the question. On the daily, we could probably tap in here because there's a bit of more room to come in to fill in this gap onto 10955. 1.0955 is up here. Okay, if you want to be a bit more conservative, you could do that there. So we've got room to pop ourselves back onto this zone again. If you want to buy, not a bad spot, not a bad spot, not a bad spot, and then we'll think about selling. All right, so be careful on that. Because on the weekly, okay, we were looking for a push up. Look, market comes down. This is a beautiful impulse wave. See how it's breaking everything. And this is also good beginning diagonal on the weekly. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to have an A, B, C. When I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know what I mean? That's like wave one. So the second wave on the weekly should be like an A, B, C down. And if we come down a little bit more, we'll probably want to fill in some gap here. And if I do that, this is the weekly, so it's going to be a bit of a long-term vision for us. Okay. Where are we? From there to here. Okay. And that's going to be this 37.5 zone there. All right. So if we get into that zone, that will be great because then we'll put ourselves into a trade. And if it pans out nicely, we should be right in the beginning of the third wave. All right, so we'll see how this pans out at the moment, but I'm still in a short mood for this. We should go lower. This is the place where the liquidity is. So we'll have a purge down to here. The market want to push down into there, break this level if we start to sell off here. Okay, so maybe we'll do an A, B, C slightly higher and then sell off, fill in the gap here. You can see there's a bit of a gap there, which I marked in before. So the market will either do that, that will bring us a little bit higher, or the market might just say we're going to push down. So this is also a good place to sell euro dollar as well. Okay. In the short term, the market looks like it is going up on the daily, but if you take a look at the weekly, it's a different story. Okay. So this is a good impulse wave up. We should have a retracement back down on the monthly as well. If you take a look at the monthly, okay, it's the market going down, up. So we should be waving down further. Okay, and that's how it is. As you can see, we've got lower highs, lower lows happening there. Okay, on the monthly, 56 is 1134 and 1134. I don't think we've got an 1134 here. 1076 we've got, and that's pretty much it. So this zone is also going to be a place where we can look at to sell if the market heads up into that direction. Okay. Let's take a look at Dow Jones, Nasdaq, Bitcoin. Right, so here's Dow Jones. Now with Dow Jones as well, we had, remember with all of them, we had the market breaking above the monthly PST. So the market just took off. And on the weekly as well, big in there. And this zone, I said we could still reach, and the market kind of pushed up right in there. And I have been talking about the Christmas rally, and looks like that's a Christmas rally. And looks like we're going to have a big fall guy afterwards. And we'll see how that pans out, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this because on the weekly we've gone above that. So you can see where the market is just very, very bullish. Okay, so what to do with this? The only thing we can do is wait for a retracement to get back into the game. And that retracement should happen on the monthly when it comes back into at least 34,121, or we need to come back into 33. Yeah, we need to come back into the 33,000 somewhere. Okay, so 33, we should, yeah, which is there. All right, so the market needs to come back into this zone and possibly dip down and close this gap as well on the weekly, and on the daily, same kind of thing. We'll just have to sit down and wait. Okay, so this is the zone where the market can come down to, into there, close the gap, so possibly back into this 33 zone. All right, but we're not going to rush into that. We're going to have to sit tight and wait. Yesterday, I also said, guys, if you want to take a break from the indices, you can. Simply because it's going to get into, it might go, keep pushing up. And that's just how it is, right? So if you take a look at also your Astro hours from yesterday, you'll note that we had 10 past 5, which is there. All right, with 10 past 5 on the platform, it's 10 past 6. Okay, so 10 past 6 is actually there. That's your 6 o'clock, and that's your 15-minute bar market going up, and then it's just bang, blasting all the way up into that zone there. So this is a runner as well. Only if it comes back, it can keep going up. But, how far to push up is a question, because on the monthly, this is like huge. Okay, and because the month is a monthly, it's, this could wave up in there, so we don't know. All right, so this is a bit tricky. If you want to keep following it, then what you can do is come back to the weekly, I guess. No, the weekly won't do either. What we can do is this. If I take this push, okay, if I take this push, breaking this is where we are. So maybe we've got a bit more room to go up. But other than that, no. So we need to just wait and see where this thing is. There's a chance or a sign of reversal. And that could be in January. Okay, like last year. Look, this is January last year. Market goes up. Again, another Christmas rally. Market going up here, you can see. Okay, that's your December. And then we come into January, and then it's all of a sudden turning pear-shaped and just going down. So we might have the same kind of thing happening here till the market pushes down here. So it's a bit of a drama. You might want to just sit and wait it out. If you want to buy it, then you can. If the market comes back down to the daily pivot or whatever, you need to buy it somewhere reasonable where the market can push back up again. Nasdaq, same kind of thing, big push up. Okay, there, as you can see, and on the weekly as well, that is just on that limit there, as you can see. But this was also a breakout, as you can see. Once it breaks out, there's a big pull, and that's it. So with Nasdaq as well, we'll have to sit tight and wait. This is like the monthly there. Okay, it's got room to go, but bigger time frame means waves on the smaller time frame. So we'll have to, we'll have to sit and wait. This was the location I had in mind for a target. But as you can see, it just kept pushing up into this zone. That's a wick here as well, so this is also an option. But currently, as you can see, this is currently where the market stopped. Why? Because, whoops, because that's the manipulation before this big push down. Okay, still, we'll have to wait and see. Okay, that's on the weekly and on the daily. Let's see. This is the, yeah, basically, well, bit of a tricky situation. Okay, bit of a tricky situation. So we'll have to wait and see because I don't see a target we can pick off on the PSD. If you want to use your Fibonacci for it, you can go for it to base a target, but still it is tricky because we got no real reversal here. Let's see where this could head up into. So a bit more higher into that zone, 16,734. Let's see. It's logical as well. It's kind of right there. Okay, so maybe the market will push up a little bit more into that zone and we'll see. Okay, but I wouldn't stand in front of it. If you want to be a buyer, like I said, you just need to wait for a reasonable place before you go long. Okay, this is actually nice to see how the market nicely sizzling down right into the Astro hour here. This is a good one. Market goes up, coming right down to the Astro zone. And that was like a really, really good situation for us there. And see, that's one of the planets which most astrologers don't even look at, right here. And that's it. Once the market did that, it was like boom, pretty much boom. Okay, fair enough. And that's it. So if you want to buy, you got to wait for the pullback to go back up again. Bitcoin, I said yesterday you could buy the lows here because this is PST level. If it goes back up into these swing days, which is going to be tomorrow and the day after, if the market is at highs again, you can sell again from the highs, as you can see. So the market sold from here. You see it made a dip and then went up from here, which was nice because it was pretty much on the PST. And if you take a look, you put your Astro hours onto it, that's 150. We had what do we have? 135 on the platform. That's 1235, which is there. And then the market breaks out. We had what? 330. This is your 330. Whoops. 330. This is where the 330 bar happened. And then 10 past 6, which is 10 past 5 on the platform. And this is the breakout happening. Okay, and I talked about the breakout happening there. Yeah, exactly there. Actually, I said that point could bring a breakout, and that's the breakout. That is awesome. Okay, and going right up into the weekly pivot into that zone. So with Bitcoin, I'd be a bit more patient. If the market comes back up, maybe into there, what's the HCL1? 44,706. Maybe then this might be a place where the market will trip down again as well. We'll have to see. If the market doesn't make a higher high and comes lower and breaks this, then you'll see we'll probably start to push down a little bit more. But like I say, Christmas, frenzy time, so you've got to be much more careful when you're trading it. If you want to do intraday trading with it, I'd be shorting the tops, like I said, on these days, which is tomorrow and the day after. If the market kind of like goes up or it's around here, you might want to sell. If it comes down into these days, then pushing back up again is an option. Be mindful of the gaps here. The market will want to fill them in sooner or later.